Hello folks, Mink back here with Planescape Torment, the Enhanced Edition. And, yeah, let's just get back into this. Keep exploring the Hive. Elderly, Hive Dweller, Bane the Sender. Back here, Bane. I know, you must break me, but... You see a heavy-set man with sharp features and a pained expression. Despite his huge frame, however, he has an effeminate look about him, and like the other residents you've seen, he looks to have bathed recently. As you approach, he looks up hopefully and calls out in a high voice, "Craddock, good sir." What? His hopeful expression dies as he studies your face. "1,000 apologies, good sir, if I have given offense." He gives a slight bow. "I am called Bane the Sender, third child of Bane the Sender. I am one of the many runners in the employ of the House of Senders." "No apologies necessary, Bane. What do you want?" "1,000 apologies for troubling you with such a trivial matter, but I seek Craddock, an overseer in the Hive." Bane looks like he is in pain. "But alas, he eludes me." He looks at you hopefully again. "Could it be that you have heard of such a man?" I'm sorry, I haven't." Bane gives a deep sigh. "I am bound to deliver a message to him, and as yet, fortune has chosen not to favor me." "Well, if I could help you, if I come across the man, I could pass along your message." Bane face, I assume that means Bane's face lights up like a lantern. "Oh, fortunate day for Bane and the House of Senders. Any assistance you could provide would be most welcome. If you can find us, Craddock, and pass along the message, I shall see to it that you are paid for your troubles." "Alright, what's the message?" Bane recites the message almost like a mantra. "The shipment must be incursed by the 3rd day or there will be a penalty." Bane frowns. "I am told that Craddock will know of the shipment to which the message pertains." "If I see Craddock, I will pass along the message. Is there anything you can tell me about him before I go that might help me find him?" "He is said to be a giant of a man, stern of features. That he is an overseer in one of the Hive marketplaces. Alas, I know little else than that, good sir." "I see. That's enough to go on for now, I guess." Bane bows. "Thank you, good sir. Should fortune favor you and you are able to bear the message to Craddock, be so kind as to return and tell me of it. I will see to it your efforts are rewarded." Wink, wink. "Very well. Farewell, Bane."
Updated my journal.
We have some harlots. Not exactly sure that would be a good idea, but let's go for it. You see a tired-looking woman dressed in a tight leather bodice and leggings. The odor of cheap perfume surrounds her like a cloud, and her face is covered with a mask of crude makeup. She smiles as she sees you. "Why don't you stay and chat with me a bit, love?" "Greetings." The woman looks coyly at you. "Now you look to be a blood who's lost something. Mayhap I can help you find it, Cutter." She smiles slightly. "Oh? What good fortune. We probably lost what we're looking for back at your kip, miss." Oh, man. Freaking skull. That's funny. Because there's no way she's gonna know I'm missing a journal. But just to be stupid about this, we're gonna do it. "Actually, I'm missing a journal." "Eh?" She seems confused. "What are you about?" Forget it. I'm not missing anything, but I did have some questions." The woman frowns. "I'm not a tout." She frowns, then rubs two fingers together. "Unless you've got jink to pay for my time." I can pay you. How much?" For a handsome basher like yourself, she gives a wide smile, revealing a row of dirty teeth. 3 coppers will be enough to loosen me tongue. She licks her lips, then frowns. Other questions of a deeper channel cost you more, though. Sounds fair. Here's 3 commons. Aye then, she slips the jink into her palm, where it promptly vanishes. Now, there were some things I wanted to know. Ask your questions, love. Let's just get this out of the way. I'm looking for someone named Farad. Farad? Now that's one of the greater darks, love. If you want to know about that blood, that'll be thrice the coppers o' a normal asking. Fair enough. Here's 9 commons. She gives your coins a once-over, then shrugs and pockets them. Maybe you want to know about old Farad. At that price, anything you can tell me about him. She shrugs. Chinese, he's a collector boss. Has a whole bunch of bloods in his shadow. Where can I find him? Hey. Okay, that's worth the 12 copper. Now, no one knows for dead sure, but if I were to suggest a place, love, I'd say Radpicker Square. Ragpicker Square. Aye, a big old heap of rags and trash 3 blocks due west of the Mortuary. All the collectors stake their kip there. Chances are Farad's got his kip there too. How many times can you ask the same exact questions and get the same answers? What's a collector? I'm probably not even going to read it. Exactly. Regular bodies, why? Because they don't got the looks to do what I do. Interesting response, I guess. Some other questions. Let's get charged like 100 coppers. What can you tell me about the Lady of Pain? She spits and makes a half circle around her heart. That bladed witch, all high and mighty, mistress of all this city, floating and silent, she kills anyone in her shadow. She tends the city, aye, she hisses, and leaves the living things to rot. Not sure you'd want to say that loud. I'm surprised she doesn't come in here, you know, and either kill you or maze you. But hey, credit for doing it. Can you tell me about Sigil? Her eyes narrow suspiciously. The city? What about it? What is it? What's Sigil, you mean? She shrugs, looks around. It's the city beneath your feet and rising to either side of you. She smiles. Makes Vitter's stomach gallop, it does. Where exactly is Sigil? Center of the plains, to hear it told. She snorts, if you believe that wash. Why is it a wash? She smirks. Well now, love, according to the greybeards and scholars and gunvers and all of the rest of them rattling their brain boxes, they say the plains go on forever. She taps her head. Who's to say where the center is? Yeah, but... it can get confusing. But I can see there still being a center. Just saying. Had some other questions. Can you tell me what's of interest around here? I assume she's going to say herself. She puts her hands on her hips and pouts. Depends on your interest, Cutter. I'm looking for work. She laughs. You're asking me? What, you thinking of becoming one of the sisterhood, are you? She nearly buckles over in laughter. The screeching is similar to a drunken harpy's. Eventually, the gales of laughter subside, and she takes a deep breath. You're a rich man, ye are. fine. I had some other questions. I'm looking for a journal. No idea where you'd find such a thing, love. You might look elsewhere. She smiles suggestively. I know some places you might start. Well, like up my ass or some other... Or are you hinting to go back to your place? I don't know. Yeah, let's do it just for fun. We saved. I'm looking for a good time. I already made you an offer, love, and it's not an unfair price. Don't know nowhere else you might be enjoying the delights you'd have with me. Alright. Chief, can you sport me some jink? It's been a long time, it has. Oh boy. I'm not even going to ask how you intend to accomplish this. The woman breaks in. It's twice the cost. It's twice the cost for the Mimir or any other degenerate. Mimir? Mimir's a talking encyclopedia. It's me, Chief. Oh. Oh. Oh, God. Oh, God, that's funny. I would never actually say that. But like I said, we saved. May a pox shrivel your innards. You have the stinking fashion sense of a goatherd, and you're twice as ugly.
New taunts, alright.
Mort stares, hypnotized, as the harlot lets loose a stream of obscenities. At the end of the verbal avalanche, Mort is silent for a moment, then turns back to you. Wow, Chief, got a few more taunts for the old arsenal. He turns back to the harlot who is catching her breath. I am also in love. Oh, God. Oh, God. That was unexpected. Wow. Wow. So what the heck does he mean, new taunts? He doesn't have any spells. Here's the items he gave him. What the heck is that? Litany of curses. Oh, God. Affect one creature, not undead. Mort can draw upon his repertoire of insults to taunt an opponent into lowering his guard and attacking. The target suffers penalties to hit and damage when enraged. This spell cannot target undead creatures. Magic resistance does not affect this spell. The target does get a saving throw versus spells to resist the effect, however. When the target is taunted, the target suffers a -2 to hit and a -2 to armor class and a -2 to damage as long as the litany of curse is in effect. This spell ability can only be used by Mort. Special ability. Wow. So he has this, and it looks like he can use it. Wait, why are there two numbers? A 3 in the bottom left and a 1 in the bottom right. I don't exactly know what that means. However, is there any benefit to him getting new taunts? Does that, like, increase the number of times you can use this? I don't know. Either way, that was funny.
We're being watched, Chief. Just look natural. Casual.
All right. Another harlot, a dustman, the post. This filthy-looking corpse is in sad shape. Its shoulders are slumped, and one of its legs is broken, causing it to lean to one side. Stains cover it from head to toe. Judging from the smell and the texture, the stains run from rotten fruit to mud and bird droppings. To add to the indignity, graffiti has been carved into its body, and several notices have been nailed into its chest, back, and head. Let's examine the corpse. Despite the many stitches, the corpse's rotting skin is peeling in several places, revealing long stretches of muscle and bone. You'd guess that the zombie is frequently used as target practice. The fruit and mud stains aside, some of the tears in the skin still have rocks and bits of glass lodged in them. One wicked-looking cobblestone is still embedded in the side of its head. Nice. And we can pry out the cobblestone and get experience for doing so. You grab a hold of the cobblestone and pull it out of the corpse's head. Traces of brain matter and rotting flesh slowly drip from it. It looks like whatever was in its head turned to ooze long ago. Yeah. Well, we were told the cobblestone is probably a key to a portal somewhere, so there's that. A number of the leaflets have been ruined by rain, but some of them are still legible. One tacked onto his back is from something called the Office of Vermin and Disease Control. The one on his forehead looks like a bill of fare for a restaurant. One on his chest looks like an official notice, and another appears to be some sort of want ad. Well, let's look at the post for the Office of Vermin and Disease Control. To those Hive citizens wishing gainful employ with the most honorable and generous sigil government, inquire forthwith at Office of Vermin and Disease Control to help stem plague of brain rats. Bounties paid, copper given for each rat tail brought. Tails must be genuine and from rat only, no cat, dog, or fiend tail accepted. Office several streets south and west of Mortuary Gate in Lower Hive. Ask for official inspector in charge. The respected Phineas T. Lort the 39th. Let's examine the bill of fare. Someone has posted a bill of fare for the Gathering Dust Bar, but the bill of fare cannot be read as the words Smoldering Corpse Bar have been scrawled in charcoal over the bill. Smoldering Corpse Bar. The zombie immediately jerks its left arm upwards and points far to the southeast. A moment later, the arm falls back to its side with a thump. Reminds me of a job I once had. He seems embarrassed. Well, I mean, without the arms. I wonder if this would work with the other notices. Examine the official notice. Public notice. By the order of the Judiciary Council and in accordance with the citizenry of Sigil, let it be known those defacing a registered servant of the Dustman, either by graffiti, malicious attack, or by posting notices, will constitute felonious assault, and a perpetrator will be answerable for the vandalism of said servant, by order of the Hall of Speakers. Well, it's nice to know that they are going through with their official notice. Not. Let's examine the want ad. Wanted, able-bodied person willing to investigate a matter of the utmost importance to the Dustman cause. Will offer suitable compensation upon successful completion of said task. Interested parties inquire with initiate Noraj Gathering Dust Bar. Well, let's try it. Gathering Dust Bar. The zombie immediately jerks its left arm upwards and points west to a building before you. A moment later, the arm falls back to its side with a thump. I think that's all the other notices. Yeah. Let's examine the graffiti. The graffiti runs from obscenities about the Dustmen to slogans glorifying what appear to be local gangs. One piece of graffiti catches your eye. Someone has carved the name Farad on the corpse's left arm and slashed an X across it. Well, since he points to where we're supposed to go, how about Farad?
Updated my journal.
Hey, 500 experience. The zombie immediately jerks its left arm upwards and points far to the west and downwards. A moment later, the arm falls back to its side with a thump. Examine the graffiti. Nope, that's it. That is the Gathering Dust Bar. We will go in there after we are done exploring this area. Another harlot, more harlots, holy harlots. Should I be worried that all the harlots hang out outside the mortuary? More thugs. And the thugs are saying, hey, let's fight. So sure. Come on, bud. Yeah, you beat up Mort.
I'm gone.
Thank God.
What's up, Chief? Good as done.
Well, one attacked, might as well finish off the other one, right?
All right.
Oh, you're just running into a corner, man. Oh, really? Thank you. A rusty dagger? I think we will need it. Ooh, a cobblestone. This is a polished cobblestone that was lodged into Zombie's skull. It still has traces of brain matter dripping from it. Nice. More junk for you to carry. Yeah, all the stuff I plan on keeping over here on the right side. This stuff I'll probably sell. Just like these earrings and rings I'll probably sell. This crude bronze ring looks like it might have doubled as someone's nose ring in the past. Despite the dents and scratches, it might be worth a few coins to a local merchant. Interesting. This crude copper circlet looks like it was the victim of an eager lover, or something that enjoys eating metal, for it is bent on one side and bears teeth marks. Nice. I was gonna say rust monster, but the teeth marks. Not really. Actually, wasn't there someone? Yes. Anna.
Pike off.
Pike off. You see a striking red-haired girl dressed in leather armor. Her right arm is covered with a series of interlocking plates that looks as if they were taken from the skin of some creature, and a horn shoulder piece protects her left arm. Oddly enough, she has a tail that is flicking back and forth as you watch. Greetings. The girl ignores you. girl sneers and makes an obscene gesture with her tail. Pike off, you clueless sod. Hey, easy, I just had some questions. Aye, and what is it you want? That might not go well. I'm looking for someone named Farad. Do you know where I can find him? I might. I might say more if you sweeten the question, aye. She clicks her tongue and rubs two fingers together. Jink jink, aye. Jink jink. She means money. Oh. Aye. She glances at Mort and shrugs. What the skull said. Hard coin. Alright. How much? How much is it to you to know, aye? She studies you, then folds her arms. Come on, I haven't gotten all day, I haven't. How about 10? That enough? That lump of copper is enough to whet a faded's appetite. You'll be needing more if you want to make friends here, Tard. Wow. How about 20? Aye, alright then. She pockets the money. It's gone so quickly you have no idea where it vanished to. Look for him in the alley, spireward from the mortuary. That's to the south and west of the mortuary, aye? Very well. I'm missing a journal. Have you seen one? She looks at you strangely. Nay, I've seen nothing like that, I haven't. Alright. Can you tell me where I am? You're lost, but you're about to find trouble. Make yourself lost somewhere else, bubber. Okay. We're gonna say it, even though it's not wise. I can't help but notice that you have a tail. Do I now? The girl looks at her tail. So I do. And here I was thinking that it was a trick of me eye. My aren't ye sharp, cutter? She bares her teeth. Why don't you piss off to whatever hole you crawled out of and leave me be? Me nor me tail is for trade, jig. Alright, I was just It's just as well neither you nor your tail are for sale. You couldn't squeak out a living with them anyway. Oh. Mort, what are you doing? What are you about, you blighter? Say it again. Oh my. Oh. He said, and I agree that you couldn't make a living selling yourself. Oh my god. He said, and I disagree that you couldn't make a living selling your... Oh my god. Pressing the issue about the tail. When did I last save? When did I last save? He said that you couldn't make a living selling yourself. Oh, aye. It's good I sell corpses then, aye. You look ready for the dustman's furnace, skull. Sell corpses. Aye, the dustmen pay a little jink for anyone with a will to scrape debtors off the street and bring them to the mortuary. This is me territory, though, so don't you even think about fishing for debtors here, right? Your territory? Aye, my territory. What is the gulf between your ears so wide that me words echo? Pah, yes, too many questions, scab. Pike off and nettle someone else with your questions. I just had one more question. Bar that, I've nothing more to say to you, Burke. Get.
Looks like the Dusty's lost one of the deaders.
Save the game. Talk
Well,
again.
what is it?
You didn't say anything, but I'm still curious. Why do you have a tail? The girl's eyes narrow to slits. Are you daft? Can it be that you're dumber than stone, or mayhap you're the power o' ignorance? May the dabbus brick you over and make you a street. Look, she's a tiefling, chief. They got some demon's blood in them, and that makes them paranoid and defensive. Nice tail, though. Shame it's plastered on such an ugly body. Oh my god. Why am I walking around with this guy again? Hey, good one. Whoa, now. You better latch your bone box, you foul-mouthed mimir, before I splits it from your jaw, Jig. Why don't you try and split my jaw, chit? All I'm hearing is a lot of chatter from some Hive trash. Throw a punch, I dare you, I'll bite your legs off. Again, why am I walking around with this guy? Like he's not walking, but you know what I mean. Enough. Aye, that's right. Leash your Mimir tard. I'll bury him with his body, Jig. Well, since we saved, let's go through the others. He said, and I disagree, that you couldn't make a living selling yourself. We'll just leave it at that. Asked about her tail like 20 times. I do not know if that was a good or bad thing. Actually, I'm curious. I started out as true neutral. I'm still true neutral, so okay. Angyar. This man looks haunted. His eyes are half-lidded, as if he has had trouble sleeping, and his hair is long and unkempt. His beard is flecked with bits of dead skin and old bits of food. He doesn't seem to notice you as you approach. Greetings? The man glances up at the sound of your voice, and his slack expression vanishes. Looks like someone has lit 2 fires in his eyes. What be your business barging into me house? His eyes narrow as his teeth clench. Get or send you back to whatever grave you've recalled from. Wow, boy, did I spit that out terribly. Calm yourself, I had some questions. The man's face turns blood red and he begins shouting, "Are you daft?" With a snarl, he spits at your feet. "You filthy, scar-ridden dog, off with you, or even the powers won't be able to save your hide." Okay, goodbye. The man throws a parting shot at your back. "You'd best never cross with me door again, you rich, stinking bastard." Oh, man. Let's just leave. Maybe wife of Angyar will know something. The woman looks to be in her middle years, and her hair has streaks of gray running through it. Lines of worry crisscross her face as she sees you. She seems to be torn between asking you to leave and calling for the man at the table. "Greetings. You'd best leave, for I call me husband. He won't take kindly to ye having barged your way into our home." Calm down, I just had some questions. She glances toward her husband, worry in her eyes. I have not the time, stranger. Do not be troubling me with such things." "Excuse me, are you all right?" "Me?" She seems surprised. "Oh, I." She lowers her voice. "You'd best leave. Me husband has not been himself of late. You'd best not provoke him with your presence." "I spoke with him. He seems troubled. What's wrong with him?" "He's been out of sorts of late. A touch of the cough, maybe." She gives an unconvincing half shrug. "What's really wrong with him?" I think he's done something he regrets." Her worried expression melts into despair. "I think he signed one of the dead contracts. I cannot imagine what possessed him to do such a foolish thing." Dead contracts? The dustmen have contracts that give them the right to somebody's body after they die. What did the dustmen do with the body after death? Animate it with their black magics, turn it into one of the walking dead, make it a worker till, she looks at her husband helplessly, till it rots away. Why did your husband sign such a thing? He may have been go eager to bring home some more jink than custom. He's prideful, but I think he's hurt himself more by doing so. Can this contract be undone? She looks at you, surprised, and then sighs. I've tried. I've spoken to the dust man, and he did the signing with, but he's cold and chill, like all the dusties. He even lectured me on me husband, as if I had no right to try and help him. Her lips become a tight, thin line, as if picturing the dustman's face. He was cold, cruel, he was. Let me see what I can do. Who was this dustman your husband signed the contract with? The dusty calls himself Gravesend. I know not his first name. He has a table at the dustman bar in the Hive. Gathering Dust, I believe, the place is named. You can most like find him there, trying to get more people to sign his contracts. I'll seek him out then. We already know where the Gathering Dust bar is. Thank you.
Updated my journal.
Head out the streets, blah blah blah. You shoot around, right, blah blah blah. Walking corpse, blah blah. Very well, I'll go see what I can do. I won't turn away such a friendly gesture. She seems grateful. Then her worried expression returns. But I must ask you not to let on I asked you to do such a thing. My husband has a terrible temper, and if you were to find out... She shudders. See, I can make this vow, because why the heck not? I promise that your husband will not find out. Thank you, stranger. I appreciate your help. It's no trouble. I'll go see about undoing your husband's contract now.
All right.
After I am done exploring. Nameless one decided to take this odd scenic route there. This sarcophagus appears to have been here for centuries. There is no lid. The exterior seems to be made of solid stone. This brazier has long since run dry of oil. Only ashes remain in the bottom. I'm pretty sure it is not pronounced brazier. Brazier? Maybe?
I'm gone.
Okay, we'll take it. Pen's note. What the heck is pen? This note has been written with remarkable penmanship upon the finest parchment. Vaxis, if you are reading this, then you have undoubtedly failed in your task and have been forced to use the escape route I arranged. I told you that your little disguise idea was ridiculous. In any case, you'll need to lay low for a while. The dustmen may be deluded, but they are not fools, and they will certainly seek retribution for our intrusion. I've left you some coins. Use them to secure a hiding space in the Hive, preferably in Ragpicker Square. The dustmen will be unwilling to look for you there. Once you have secured a new hiding place, I have a new mission for you. Find out where Farad is getting those bodies he's delivering to the mortuary. It's apparently causing the dustmen a great deal of upset, and I wouldn't mind knowing myself. Reports are that the stone-faced dustman at the Gathering Dust Bar, Initiate Emmerich, I think the fool's name is, has been sending out finders to try and mark Farad's movements. See if you can find out how far along he is and hinder their efforts until we know more about Farad's activities. I don't want Emmerich finding out something before we do. Pen. Let's just drop that back on the ground. I'm pretty sure we don't need it.
All right.
And I think we explored the whole area. Oh, more thugs. A huge monument. There's no name or plaque identifying what it is honoring. That the whole area? Yes, it is. Let's go to the Gathering Dust Bar.
Maybe I can get a dusty.
Chief, what are we doing in here? Let's say we just give this place the laugh, all right?
I'm gone.
Narash. Dustman, awaiting death. Seer the Skeptic. Dustman, zombie. Mortai Gravesend, hey. Dustman, Dustman. Old Copper Eyes.
I'm gone.
Dustman, Dustman. Zombie Bodyguards. Emmerich. Well, let's talk with this one first. This tiny, wizened man is dwarfed by his huge dustman robes. They look as if they were chosen to cloak his small stature. Although he looks to be in his late 90s, this man is extremely energetic. He fidgets continuously, and his eyes dart around the bar like a bird's. Greetings! The man's eyes gleam as he takes your measure, and he gives a slight nod in greeting. Hail and well met, traveler. You look like one who is just getting their sigil legs about them. He trails off. Pardon me, have we met before? Your face seems familiar somehow. Possibly. Are you certain it was me? Maybe I was mistaken. Mortai shakes his head. Well, no matter, no matter. How is it that Mortai Gravesend may help you? Do you seek He clucks his tongue as he speaks. The contract, perhaps? Contract? The contract? Why, it is but a simple transaction. From the depths of his huge robe, Mortai pulls forth a dusty parchment and a quill pen. I give you 50 commons. In return, after death, the Dustmen faction may claim your remains. He smiles, then clucks his tongue. What use will you have for them at that point anyway? What did the Dustmen do with the body? Mortai holds up his hands as if he doesn't know. What does it matter? It is of no consequence when you pass on. It matters to me. Well, if you must know, oft-times nothing is done with the body, and it is we, the Dustmen, who have wasted all that money. More fools us. Mortai gives a light smile, then looks apologetic. But rarely, there are times when the workers in the mortuary need to be replaced, and then we may have a need for your body. You mean I'll be animated as a corpse and put to work in the mortuary? That doesn't sound good. Ah, but no harm is done, no pain. Mortai raises a finger as if to emphasize the point. And there is no danger. In exchange for the money you can spend in this life, you merely have to give us something you will have no need of anyway once you have died. Mortai taps his chest. I signed a contract myself, if you must know. I shall have no need of my body when I pass on. So what he's saying is he paid himself 50 coppers. That's interesting. Interesting. I'll consider it. For now, I have some other questions. Of course, Mortai nods. It would be my pleasure to answer any questions you may have. I am searching for a man named Farad. Have you seen him? Mortai frowns. He's one of the collectors, isn't he? I know little of him. I think Initiate Emmerich mentioned him in passing. Mortai glances around. Emmerich should be around here in the bar somewhere. He can usually be found in the far corner at the head table, I believe. Okay, some other questions. Are you the one who signed that dead contract with Angyar? Mortai frowns. He looks puzzled. Mayhap. He thinks for a moment. I do not recall the name, however. Do you have that contract with you? Mortai frowns and looks into the folds of his robes. I do not normally keep the documents with me, but it may be that... Mortai pulls forth a sheaf of papers from within his robes and begins leafing through the documents. No, I don't have it on me. Would you like me to fetch it from one of the back rooms? If you could, I would like to see it. Hold on a moment. He steps up from the table and departs. Wait for him to return.
Updated my journal.
After a while, Mortai returns, a dusty piece of parchment in his hands. He holds it up, allowing you to see it, but he does not allow it to leave his grip. Look over the parchment. There it is, sir. Angyar, very somber fellow, was quick to sign. He clucks his tongue. And now a much richer fellow. You glance over the contract. It looks genuine, very official. Very well, it all looks in order. Mortai puts the contract away, and you notice he tucks it into his robes instead of putting it in the back room. Mortai clucks his tongue. Does that answer your questions about the contract? I'd like to settle that contract. Mortai looks wary. I'm afraid that is impossible. The contract is signed, settled, binding. I suggest you hand over the contract now, or I'll butcher you where you stand. The contract is tearing a man's life apart. The contract is tearing a man's life apart with some added. That looks like the option. The contract is tearing the man's life apart. It is causing him distress. It is possible that he may not even be able to approach the true death with such emotions churning in his mind. Mortai chews it over for a moment. It looks like you've negotiated him into a corner. I cannot. It is a matter of law, my friend. Besides, the burden lies upon the signer to overcome his own feelings in order to reach the true death. I cannot... So what you're saying is that you'll deny him the true death for the sake of a piece of parchment. Mortai sighs and holds up his hands as if to placate you. Look, it is not how you're making it out to be. You obviously hold the philosophy of the Dustman in contempt to damn a man's soul over a piece of paper. Do other members of your faction know of your conduct in this regard? If not, they soon will. Mortai glares at you for a moment, opens his mouth, closes it, then opens it. By the 9 hells. He reaches into his robes and throws the contract to you. Here, he sniffs disdainfully. All for a man's peace of mind. Now be gone. I will leave for now. Farewell, Mortai. This crisp parchment has a musty smell about it, like it has been stored in an attic for too long. From what you can make out from the tiny, cramped writing, this document seems to be a contract between 2 parties, the Dustman faction and a man named Angyar. In exchange for 30 copper pieces, Angyar has signed away the rights to his corpse to the Dustman, presumably so that they can use him as a worker in the mortuary. Oh, he only got 30. I was told 50. Is that because I'm a big brutish looking guy with scars, or did the rate go up? Anyway, before we do anything else, let's get that out of the way. That was over here.
Done.
Let's save the game in case I screw something up. Okay. You see Angyar. He doesn't look any better than before. As you approach him again, he turns slowly to face you. His face tightens. Again? Didn't hear me the first time, you pox-ridden dog. Get out of me house, or so help the powers, I'll carve you where you stand. No one speaks to me that way. Take back your words, or this house will become a crypt. Show him the Dustman contract. As you pull out the contract, the blood drains out of Angyar's face. For a moment, he seems at a loss for words, and his temper quickly resurfaces. Where did you get that? By the powers, you'd best tell me. I took it from a dustman named Mortai. It has your name on it. Angyar can't seem to take his eyes from the contract. Why'd you bring it to me? He looks suspicious. To ransom it? Tear up the contract.
Updated my journal.
You tear up the parchment, and Angyar's eyes follow the bits of paper as they float to the ground with a desperate look. He shudders slightly, then straightens as if a great weight was lifted from him. Yea. He looks like he is about to thank you, then stops and stares at you suspiciously. Nothing's free. Not in the Hive, Cutter. Well, if you feel the need to pay me, I had some questions. Angyar nods. Ask your questions. Can I ask why you signed the Dustman contract? Perhaps it's sheer amounts of riches and wealth that surrounds you that distracted you, he snorts. We have less than nothing, and I needed Jink. Didn't seem to matter too much at the time where it might come from, and selling me body to the Dusties is a lot more honest than most work around here. What caused you to change your mind? It's just, he sighs, I saw one of them zombies on the streets a half a month ago. One of them zombies that work for the Dusties, and it stabbed me in me heart. I knew I'd made a mistake. I didn't want to be any part of that after death. We've all had our share of mistakes. Angyar grunts, I suppose so. Had some other questions. I'm looking for a man named Farad. Do you know where I can find him? Aye, that name be known to me, and not a fond name it is either. What can you tell me about him? He frowns. He's one of them collectors, and one with a long shadow. There's quite a few boys at his beck and call. He may not be a lord of the realm, but he's not a smart one to tangle with, lord or no. Do you know where I can find him?
Updated my journal.
Aye, but I wouldn't be doing you a favor telling it to you. He frowned. His frown deepens. One of me kin fell into his lot a few months back and spilled some of the dark of old Farad. To hear tell, Farad's actually got his kip buried somewhere under Ragpicker Square. To get to it, there's some kind of portal you need to jump through while carrying some junk in your hand. Hey, well, this guy actually helped a lot more than the other. I paid copper for those other ones. I paid. This guy told me, I already know where Ragpicker Square is. It's a few blocks from here. Go straight west from the Mortuary gate, keep going until you start seeing trash and rags piled up everywhere. You do best to walk careful there. The collectors there don't always wait for a body to die before collecting on a corpse, you hear? Some other questions? I've lost a journal of mine. Have you seen one? Angyar frowns and shakes his head. Haven't seen a thing such as that, Cutter. Do you mind if I rest here? Angyar nods. That's the least I can do. I'll have me wife get some blankets out for ye. I didn't want to sleep just yet. I may return when I'm ready to rest, though. Farewell. Nice. Easy enough experience. And with that, I think we will call that an episode. So, next time we will finish talking to all these patrons here in the Gathering Dust Bar. Actually, let's save the game here quick.
Alright.
And see if we can loot the place without anybody getting mad. I know in Baldur's Gate the Flaming Fist will come in. Rags. You know, they have to be in the game for a reason. I'll take them. Hey, the guy said you need a piece of junk in your hand to enter a portal. That's why I figured, you know, hey, can I split them? Ah, done. Mort, you can carry the rags. He already had a rags. Done. Give that back to the nameless one. Okay, next barrel is getting rags. Enjoy your rags, barrel. Alright, so, as I was saying, in the next episode we will talk to all of these patrons in the Gathering Dust Bar. And until then, this is Mink saying
Farewell.